Yes.
Praise the Lord and welcome to Chapter and Verse, direct from the Ocean State, Rhode Island. We have a delightful guest, Linda Lawrence.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Linda.
Thanks for the invitation.
Right?
Yes. Our dear friend, Caitlin DePompo, invited Sandy and I to attend Providence Performing Arts Center play. And it's a little bit long, a title. Let's see if The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. It's the story of a special needs child. I think he was autistic, and he displayed.
They call that Asperger's, Ray?
Asperger's.
Asperger's is what the character
syndrome.
was? Okay.
Yeah, he might have had that, that autism.
Yeah, well, autism is a big range. It's a major spectrum.
Is that
so,
right?
Yeah, so you've got people who are very low functioning to people who are very high functioning.
This fellow in the play was fairly high functioning. He was very innocent and loving. He went to pet a dog at night, and it turns out that someone had murdered the dog, and he was falsely accused of it. And he spent the rest of the play trying to find out who hurt the dog, who killed the dog. And he wanted to go through some other aspects of trouble and trial. His parents were divorced, and he was going through the wreckage of that. And he loved the dog, and the dog was gone, and that was a difficulty. It was a very interesting play, I thought, because...
Come to find out, it was his father.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It was a mess. It's a funny thing.
They have a book on that, too.
Yes,
Oh, really?
there was a book.
Oh, there's a book?
That turned into a play. One of the things about the play which kind of surprised me is that it was a play about love. And the thing about it which surprised me as much as anything was that the audience supplied the love. The characters on the stage weren't all that loving. They were mean sometimes. They didn't understand special needs. Like in one case, an authority figure came and tried to lay hands on him. And the poor boy just went into a ball. Well, he exploded at first, and then he went into a ball of where his head was up to his knees, and he was just on the ground, suffering because the world was confusing to him. But also, the world didn't seem to understand. The world didn't seem to understand the struggle that he was going through. And the audience supplied the love. Like when we saw him curled up in a ball, the audience were the ones who had the love for the boy. So it was a love story, but we supplied the love.
That's nice.
We were talking earlier about abortion, and it turns out I read a blip the other day that the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists want to request, or maybe strongly suggest, that all pregnant women get screened for children with special needs, which is kind of, if one does that in order to prepare a loving home for the child, I suppose that's okay. But a lot of people turn, like 90%, turn around and search for and destroy the child. And that's really regrettable. I think that's a societal mistake.
Yeah.
Maybe I could put it more strongly than that. This is the sort of thing which preceded Nazi Germany, a disrespect for life. What do you think when you hear these pillars of society, the medical establishment, talking about searching and destroying children?
I mean, I think it's just crazy, to be honest with you. I think they're just looking for excuses to, how should I put it? stay with the mainstream thought. Traditional thought is kind of blown out the window. But they figured the mainstream thought is, okay, abortion's good, let's get rid of these children who are unwanted for whatever reason, so let's go along with that line of thinking. So I'm sure somewhere out there somebody wants to do it for the right reason, like you said, if you want to know in advance if your child maybe, and again, those tests aren't 100% either. So if you want to know if you're going to have a child maybe with some special needs situations, you can prepare for it. But more times than not, it's a good not, in their thinking, a good excuse to get rid of the child.
Now, Linda, you're a parent of a special needs child.
Yes.
Do you have a ledger in your heart, like a plus and positive and negatives? What do things look like to you now with your child? A lot of people see a special needs child and they say, it's better that this child not be born.
No, God. Will's quite the guy, actually. He's brought a lot of joy. He's very, very loving, which most of the special need kids are. They're very loving. They're very happy. Willie was.
Did you say happy?
Happy, yeah.
Oh,
for the most part, he's basically a happy guy. I mean, he has his moments, don't we all?
Of course.
But basically, he's happy. He, like I said, he's adopted. And we adopted.
You adopted him?
Yes. Well, our first two, we have 3 boys. Our first 2 are adopted. Our first one was John, who was special needs when he moved in with us because he was a preemie. He came in with oxygen and hearing aids, and he was on oxygen until he was about 5 years old. So, and a few little learning issues going through school, but he's doing fine now. And then Willie, we adopted shortly after that.
He has
was
a
2
hearing
and a half. No, he's gone with the hearing aids. John he's done with that. Willie, he came to live with us when he was 2 and a half, and we kind of already been told that he probably was autistic. Then when he moved in, we dealt with that and found out that yes, he was. He's also nonverbal, so he uses sign language. He writes, he types. He's got an iPad that has an app on there that he can just type in and it'll verbalize things for him. And then Anthony was our surprise, actually. So that's how we ended up with 3 boys. But Willie's the one who still is very basically special needs. He's in an adult day program right now. He graduated high school, at 21, had a blast going through school. And
how old is he now?
He's 24.
He's in a program?
And he's in an adult program, adult day program, yes. 5 days a week, which he loves. He rides the ride bus, he loves it.
Years and years ago, when I was young, once in my 20s and then in my 30s, I had gone back there. I worked 2 different times at Crystal Springs School for the Mentally Retarded, SONA, People Incorporated, Forever.
Yeah.
And I remember at a Crystal Springs School, they gave me my own little classroom.
Yes.
Teach them very simple arithmetic.
Yep.
Some spelling, very simple. They were, mentally disabled, somewhat. Now, what is he able to do?
He probably does work along the lines of maybe a 2nd or 3rd grader in terms of his math or, basic skills, so to speak. He's a whiz on the computer, always has been. Even when he was about 5 years old, he was always starting to stream things on the computer. He
enjoys
typing.
That computer?
Oh, loves it.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and radio, loves his music. So I mean, he can make his bed. Well, to the best of his ability, he can make his bed. He puts his clothes away. He knows how to load.
Is it a living program?
No, he lives with us.
Reside with you?
Yeah, he's still with
isn't
us.
that nice? Goes back and forth on a bus?
Yeah, on the ride bus. Yep. And I mean, he can load a dishwasher, he can unload a dishwasher, he can basically get himself ready. He'd prefer the help, of course, but, he can basically get himself ready in the morning or in the shower and, get ready for bed. So, I mean, a lot of the basic stuff he can do, but like I said, academically, he's more along the lines of maybe a 2nd or 3rd grader. But that's He doesn't really need to do much more than that. And they are trying to work with him at his program to hopefully get him employed at some point in time, depending on what he likes and what they find that he can do.
How old was he when you and your husband
Yes.
first adopted him? How
Well,
beautiful.
he moved in at 2.5. It took a while to adopt him because of the situation with his biological mother. But he probably adopted him when he was probably close to 4, 3.5, 4 was when everything finalized. So, yeah.
Is there any visitation with his biological mother, or
There was
some of them lose interest in the child?
Well, right now, I mean, she passed away a few years ago, so there's nothing now. But in the beginning, before we adopted him, she had expressed interest in seeing him. So the visit was set up, but unfortunately, for some reason, she never showed up. And then that was kind of it. So,
How
And
unfortunate.
you're such heroes for them,
Yes,
aren't they, Ray?
yes,
You know, that type of people, they're heroes.
yes.
I don't know about that.
All different category of heroes, you know?
I don't know about that, but
You know,
God
a lot of
uses
times,
them.
yes, a lot of times their fellow students will accept them in open arms. It's wonderful to see.
oh yeah, he had a really good experience going through school, through pretty much all of his classes that I can think of. I can't remember any particular instance where he wasn't appreciated or embraced. He had a couple of, in high school, he had a couple of girls from other classes who, were kind of enamored by him.
Really,
Yeah,
how
and at his
wonderful.
day program now, apparently he did have one girl who liked him a lot.
Great.
So, that doesn't change. None of that changes. But so, like I said, he's a likable kid. He really is. The kid was 24, but
Now, the other one, male or female?
they're all boys. All boys. Yeah, John. He's the oldest one. He's
How old is the other one?
25. Yep, 25. So he was, like I said, he was the first one that we adopted. He moved in about 18 when he was
Now,
about
does
18
he
months old.
reside at home?
Yeah. Oh, I've got them all home.
Oh, home.
They're all home still.
Must
Yeah.
be fun around Jesus'
Oh, yeah.
birthday. Jesus' birthday. Different celebrations.
I know. Yeah.
Yes.
So, yep. But no, they're doing well. They're kind of all doing their own thing. Which is normal families. All the kids do their own thing as well, kind of going in their own directions.
You mentioned you have your own biological children?
One. Yeah.
One. So you've got 3 there.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Any pets? Because
No,
they
we had-
enjoy pets.
I know. We had 2 dogs. At separate times, of course. One dog died.
Oh,
and we
it's
got another
heartbreaking,
dog.
yeah,
Yeah, but
when they die,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then this second one
Yeah.
too. Unfortunately, we had to put him down. But
Yeah.
but no more for right now. Although John's going through fish, geckos, a cat. What else was there?
A cat?
Yeah, a cat. Cat didn't last very long. And I think it was another pet too.
You still
And-
have the cat?
No, cat's gone. Cat lasted
I
a
miss
few
my
days.
cats.
Oh. Cat lasted a few days. That was it. So we're not doing any more pets for now.
What is the quality of life for you as a parent living with children, a child of special needs?
We have our ups and downs like everybody else. It's some days are better than others, like everybody else. But for the most part, he adds a lot to the dynamics of the family. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But again, it's I can't see not having him around. Let's put it that way. I can't see not having him around, although eventually, down the road, as my husband and I get older, he'll have to go to some other location. Hopefully, maybe the brothers might, one of them might take him in if at all possible. If that's not possible, then, some residential facility.
Mainly, is it a mental disability mainly? It's not like they're in wheelchairs.
No, he's not. No, he does have some coordination issues, shall I say, where like he does some sign, but his finger dexterity isn't good to fine tune a lot of the signs. So we kind of, there's like sign and then there's like Willie's sign. So we kind of know Willie's version of it. And again, he's kind of stiff when he walks, and one side's usually a little more flexible than the other side. So he does have some coordination issues as well, but it doesn't stop him from bowling. He likes to go bowling.
He likes bowling?
Yeah, and he's part of Special Olympics. He's with our local group.
Yeah,
in
I like
Warwick.
that, Special Olympics.
So
Isn't that wonderful?
It's
Yes.
beautiful. It's wonderful. It's great. Those kids are treated so well. I mean, I can't speak
what does he
highly
do
enough.
in that?
He does
Different,
bowling in the bowling in the fall, and then in the spring they do track and field. He's up to a 100-meter dash
Wow.
and a softball throw.
Wow.
Well, the 100-meter sort of kind of walk for Willie. Willie doesn't really dash anywhere, but he
Where
does
in Rhode
100
Island
meter.
is that held, that Special Olympics?
Where's it held?
Where in Rhode Island is that?
Well, there's local groups, like there's a Warwick group that he belongs to, and there's, I think, a couple of other school groups in Warwick. And then they go to Bishop Hendricken in the spring, which is the first set of games that qualifies them to go to the state games at URI, and it's usually the first weekend after Memorial Day. So that's what they're part of. They do their track and field in the spring, do the Bishop Hendricken games, whenever that may be, and then gear up for the state games at URI. Usually it's at the very end of May or the first part of June, depending on when Memorial Day falls, which they love because they sleep over, they have pizza parties and dances, and it's great. It really is. It's a lot of fun.
Oh,
It's
that's really good.
great. They
How's he
treat those
doing
kids-
bowling? How's
yeah.
he doing? How's he
does
doing
pretty
bowling?
good. Some days he does okay, and other days he does better. But he seems to enjoy himself, with the bowling. He really likes it.
I remember my daughter, she's the youngest of my children. They went bowling once.
Who's this?
My daughter, Talitha, with
Oh,
the
Talitha.
boys. They went bowling all together, and the boys had this idea that they were bigger than she was, and that they were going to take those balls and just shoot them down the aisle and bust all those pins down.
Yeah.
And to poor little Talitha, she just put her legs way out, and she took the ball and she just kind of measured it really kind of carefully and let it roll, just roll slowly.
Oh, yeah.
And she won.
Yeah.
All the brothers are hitting gutter balls, and and she's just slow and methodical and right on. She carried the day.
There you go. There you go. Oh, like I said, the kids get into it. They really do. Yep.
So the Kennedys, one of the Kennedys started the Special Olympics.
Eunice. Yeah, Eunice. Yeah, Shriver. Yeah.
Eunice
okay.
Shriver. Her husband was a wonderful person, I hear.
Yeah.
Sergeant Shriver.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going back too far from here.
And she started the Special
Yes, she
Olympics.
did. Yes.
The
Yes,
Kennedys
thank goodness
had-
for that. That's so great. I mean, and it's still carrying on to now, and it's international. Special Olympics is international, besides being local and national. So it's a really great organization. I can't speak highly enough about it.
The Kennedys had a special needs
I think
child.
they did.
Yes, they did.
They did.
I was
Daughter,
just
I
thinking
think.
of that.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
a daughter. Yeah, I don't remember too much about
Yeah.
her, though. I think
They
she
kind of
passed.
put her away, didn't they?
Yeah, they
Yes.
did. Yeah, if I remember correctly, but I don't remember too much. But
Was there a lobotomy involved?
I'm not sure. I kind of remember a few things, but not 100% sure as to what that was all about. So, yeah, that's what they did to a lot of them back then. Put them away.
Yeah.
A lot of institutions took those kids.
Have we come a long way?
I think we have. I think a lot of people are much more accepting of special needs kids, special needs adults. You find a lot of them working in different locations. Stop and Shop at Walmart. They hire a
Shores
lot of them.
sometimes,
Shores,
yeah.
they hire lots of them, which is great. I think they really enjoy the work. Gives them something to do, feel a good purpose.
They do a great job.
Oh yeah, they do great. Yes, they do fine.
How
just
old
give it a
is your
chance.
biological child?
19.
He's the youngest.
He's the youngest. Yep. Yeah, just turned, actually he turns 19 the end of this month, I should say. So like I'm thinking
Almost
he's 19
out of
or
his
18.
teen years.
Yeah.
Wow. All grown up, huh?
Yep, all grown up.
I imagine there's quite a bit of bonding that goes along in your family. I mean, the special needs child and the brothers.
Well, they do. They have their brother moments too, where they, get away from me, I don't want to see you thing, I've had it with you. But as brothers and sisters are,
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of other times they kind of get together and they have a good laugh together because somebody did something stupid, so everybody gets a charge out of it. Yep. Very protective of him, too. I find the brothers, even though they may not admit it, very forthright if you're in admitting that, I've noticed they are very protective of Will. Yeah, which is good.
There are news stories on the network news where there are some children with Down syndrome who've been elevated in the hearts of their fellow students. They've become the king and queen of the prom.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It's nice.
A wonderful display of love. You see these contrasts. On one side you get these children opening up their hearts to other children, and then you hear the American Association of Obstetricians and Gynecologists conducting a search and destroy mission to wipe those children from the face of the earth. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It seems like the uneducated ones, just the children with their hearts open, are the greatest example of love, as opposed to what's happening in elevated circles.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of love from those kids. If you ever spend any time with a group of them, like I said, if you hang around Special Olympics for a while, or a classroom full of them, they are lovable groups. They're lovable little guys and girls, and always happy to see you, always willing to share a hug for the most part, shake a hand, show what they've been doing, show what they've been working on. Yeah. They're very lovable.
You
Do
see
they
that?
attend church with you? And
They
your
do. Oh,
hubby?
Willie loves church. Yes, he really does. In fact, there's a program through the diocese. It's nationwide. I think it's also international, called the SPREAD program.
Spread.
This is special religious education for people with disabilities. It starts, I think, when the kids are around. They can go, I want to say 7 or 8. Maybe even 9, I'm not sure what the lowest age is, all through adulthood. And it's a program specifically designed for them. It's a great program, it really is. It's our group, for example, our spread group at our church. That's all I can really talk about, because I really don't know how the other churches are working it. But they usually meet twice a month for a couple of hours, and they go in. There's a little quiet time where there's some soft music, like classical music playing, and there'll be activities that each child can, or each adult can choose from to do. Very quiet kind of activities, a lot of sensory motor stuff, and they have a catechist for each, what they call a special friend. And there's a catechist also doing the same thing, sitting very quietly at the table, doing some type of an activity. And then they move to another area of the room where they sit kind of quiet while an adult goes in and sets up an area where they're going to do a reading from a Bible, small little verse. And then they're called in by name to go and sit. And then they do this reading, and then the catechist will go around and grab everybody by the hand and repeat a statement from the verse, look them in the eye. And then there's some music afterwards where they'll kind of do some like flowing hand motions along with the music and the words. And then they go set up for a snack. And then they clean up, and that's it. And they love it so much.
What are his responses? What are his feelings about the Lord?
It's hard to say. I mean, he knows, he follows along in the missal, with the readings and the prayers. He follows along great. He's got some of the sign down. I tried to work with him at one point to start signing some prayers or responses or whatever. Wasn't really into that sort of thing, but there was a couple of signs that he kind of caught and likes to do. So he'll do a couple of those. Again, it's his versions of it during the parts of the Mass. But he just, he just really gets into it. He really likes it. He likes going to church every week. Likes going to a spread program, and so.
Does he say anything about the Lord in his signs?
Not really, no. No, he doesn't, but he does, like I said, just enjoys being there.
Do they do something special with them, say for major holidays, Easter, Christmas? You know, a little
Yeah, no,
singing or something.
no, well, again, not with us. I haven't really, can't remember anything with our church. Now, whether or not somebody else, other parishes do, I don't know, but they have it. Although there is at the end of, once spread is all over, because it's normally during the school year, they do have a special Mass afterwards, after the classes are done, on a Saturday, where they have all of the members of spread kind of take different parts in helping within the Mass. So that's, I guess, I don't know if that's kind of what you're getting at, but that's really about the only time I've ever seen that done.
Yeah.
Again, with our church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to try to, or not even try, if you were to be given the opportunity to talk with somebody who has had no experience with any special needs child, Down syndrome or other special needs, autism and the like, what might you say if you had an opportunity to talk a little bit about your experience and your understanding of what it's like to be in that alternative situation?
Wow. I don't know. I'd probably tell them first thing to do is spend some time with one or two special needs people, children, adults, whatever. Just spend some time with them, because you definitely see things from a different perspective. Like Willie is also very, as a lot of other kids are, very literal in the language. So you kind of sometimes have to watch what you say, because he takes, like I said, he takes the words very literal. I can't think of an example off the top of my head, but you can't like kid around with them and say, you know, God, I wish I could think of an example. I can't at the moment anyway, but like I said, sometimes when you're kidding around, you know, you say something like slang-wise, or you use a couple of different words that everybody knows what you mean, but if you actually like thought about what you were saying and took every word literally, it's like, no. So that's one thing that you have to watch out for. But again, you know, for anybody who's not familiar with them, if they can just spend some time, like I said, go to an event where they're at and go watch them have fun. You know, I don't know if that's what scares most people about it, is they don't know how to handle. But you know, they go watch them go have fun, watch them do something that they like. See how happy they are. They like to play around just like everybody else. They like to have a good time just like everybody else.
Do you have a favorite recreational facility that you go with them? Children's Museum?
No.
Boston, the Ocean State?
They used to do that when they were little. They don't really get into it anymore. Yeah. Willie likes the pool, although that's, yeah. He likes swimming. He likes the pool.
Yes.
He likes vacation. He's always
vacation?
Always ready to go on vacation.
Oh.
Oh,
You
God,
have a
yes.
favorite
No,
spot?
he doesn't really care. As long as he can pack a bag and get in the car and go, he's happy.
Oh, they like vacations.
Oh, he loves
Don't we all?
vacations. Yeah, he loves vacations. So, yeah.
Does he have a favorite spot?
No, like I said, anyway, he's happy. Just pack him a bag and we're getting in the car. We're out of here. You know, he's happy.
You know, to get acquainted with a special needs child, it would be wonderful if television would offer a helping hand and give us a chance to get acquainted. I mean, television acquaints people with a lot of different situations, a lot of different new opportunities and the like. But yet,
Well, time is running short.
Time is running. We got 1 minute.
Oh, okay.
How enjoyable. But I wanted to read this. My alma mater, Zion Bible College. Now it's North Point Bible College, because the name Zion in the Middle East gets a little, run out of time. God loves you, and so do we.